The film opens in a hospital and introduces Jang Hook, a chubby computer engineering graduate who had just been accepted for a job when he was brought to the emergency room after becoming jaundiced due to hepatitis. Da-un, a beautiful and gentle woman, looks after him. The next day, Hook's parents visited, but avoided any physical contact with Hook as they believed his sickness was infectious. His coworkers likewise opted not to visit him and instead wished him well via chat. When Da-un arrives and opens Jang Hook's curtains, 3 patients in the same ward request him to close them because they don't want to get Hook's ailment. Da-un defends Hook from them, claiming that it was simply hepatitis B, which is not contagious. As sweet as her personality is, Da-un smacks a kiss to Hook's IV bag to wish him a quick recovery. This leaves Hook with a lasting impression of Da-un, which piques his interest in her. That was the night. Hook decided to take a walk around the hospital. He is astonished to find Da-un smoking and observes her ring. When asked what it was, Da-un said it was only a graduation ring. When the head nurse comes, Da-un stops smoking and is saved by Hook, who tells the head nurse the cigarette is his so Da-un will not lose her job. This helped Da-un feel more at ease with Hook. He even lets her eat his dinner, but in exchange Da-un buys Hook beverages from a vending machine. When Da-un is exhausted and drowsy, she falls asleep alongside Hook's bed but wakes up after a few seconds. Da-un appeared to become more tired as time passed, and she had also stopped smoking and drinking coffee. When Hook discovers this, he devotes his efforts to keeping Da-un healthy by providing her with fruits and allowing her extra space to relax and sleep beside his bed. One day, while enjoying the excellent dinner Hook's parents had prepared for him, Da-un felt disappointed in Hook for lacking confidence in his ability to have a girlfriend. Hook is then avoided by Da-un as she is with her coworkers. Finally, the doctor informs Hook that he is ready to be released in 2 days, which makes him unhappy since he still wants to see Da-un. After being discharged, Hook spent time with his buddies, who were skeptical that a beautiful nurse would appreciate him. He immediately returns to the hospital to visit Da-un, but she is not there, so he searches for her phone number. He recalls only the first half of the number, but ultimately dials the correct one. Hook informs her that he was seeking for her in the hospital, and Da-un responds that she simply took a few days off to rest. He eventually gathers the confidence to tell Da-un how much he likes her. Da-un seemed pleased to hear that from him, so she invited him over. Hook, surprised but thrilled, grabs his father's car and rushes to her house with an energy drink. Inside Da-un's house, Hook does not know how to approach her, so he tells her he is going, but Da-un invites him to stay the night. That morning, Hook changed Da-un's flickering light bulbs and made breakfast for her. This made her very emotional, so she kissed Hook. But when he kissed her, she stopped him since they needed to learn more about each other first. Following this, they spend more time together, with Hook showing Da-un how special she is by making food for her, picking her up from work, and even putting away her garbage. During one of their dates, Hook observes that Da-un's graduation ring is missing from her finger, to which she answers that she lost it. Hook shows her how important she is by telling her she must stop working once he finds a house for them. This makes her happy, so she hugs Hook, who initially resists touching her back but eventually does. The next morning, Da-un invites Hook to accompany him on a vacation to Jeju Island, where she has gotten 2 tickets from a coworker. Excited about this vacation, they proceeded to the mall to try on a few of t-shirts, but they didn't fit Hook, making him so self-conscious about his weight that he refused to eat a macaron offered by Da-un. Da-un surprised Hook at the airport with matching sneakers. He gladly takes it, telling Da-un that he will lose weight soon. The film switches to a thin and charming man sprinting, who looks to be Jang Hook. Without his weight, he is the same person who looks after Da-un, prepares breakfast, and even throws out the garbage. He obtains a fantastic opportunity to work for a huge firm and informs Da-un about it. Da-un was saddened because Hook would be gone from her, because his job is in Seoul and she is in Incheon. Hook makes an extra effort to reassure Da-un that she doesn't have to worry about anything, even buying a car for them and replacing her missing graduation ring. On Hook's first date at his new work, he meets the permanent staff and his boss, as well as a new employee named Bo-deong. Bo-deong is not good news for Hook since she intimidates him and is excessively competitive. The permanent staff do not appear to be friends with the 2 employees. He returns home and discusses this with Da-un. Another day at work causes Hook shame as Bo-deong fools him into believing he is doing something wrong with his project. This enrages him, but he merely shares his rants at Da-un, who appears to want to share something with him as well, but he shows no interest. He even allows her to just be the one to take their next Jeju trip for Christmas. The following day, Bo Young unveils their project and takes full credit for the bridge design. The management was impressed until Huk demonstrated that the design was at risk of flooding. As a result, Bo Young must work even harder to rectify the design. Huk was relieved that he had finally gotten his revenge on her. Bo Young has devoted herself to the project to the point where she no longer goes home. But Huk may go home every day, despite the fact that it exhausts him due to traffic congestion. Their long-distance relationship seems to have hit some bumps, as they both have no time for each other anymore. So they decided to compromise and have Huk go home only on weekends. Because Bo Young hasn't gone home yet, she hasn't bathed and has been eating and sleeping during the day. Huk decides to assist her out after seeing how messy and stressed she is. The project was successful, so the management decided to treat the team to dinner. During dinner, Huk refuses to drink due to his weakened liver and supports Bo Young, who is drinking excessively. He ultimately returns home, but Do-eun is not there since her rest date has changed. She begs Huk to change the bulb before sleeping, but he goes out from tiredness. The next morning, Huk arrives at the office and forgets to change the light bulb. Their manager directed Huk and Bo Young to continue working on the other team's project since he had greater confidence in them. Because the two had previously gotten along, it was no longer a concern for Huk, who gradually realized that he enjoyed working alongside Bo Young. They both had to work overnight to finish the job, so he was unable to return home, though Do-eun had an important message for him. The second project was a success, so Bo Young asks Huk to dinner, leading him to be unable to return home again. Back at the workplace, Bo Young attempts to lure Huk, but realizes he has to go. Huk and Do-eun began arguing after noticing the flickering light bulb and the trash, since both were fatigued from work. Do-eun then informs him that she may be pregnant. Huk was at first hesitant to become a parent, but gradually accepted it and chose to take on the responsibility of caring for Do-eun. He supports Do-eun and spends more time at home. However, Do-eun informs him that it is fine for him to return to work, so Huk returns, but this time he goes home every day, despite the traffic congestion. This made him exhausted and drowsy, which contributed to their ongoing lack of communication. One night, Bo Young recommended Huk to work late because they were already behind on their project. He afterwards began to prioritize work over Do-eun. When he does have time to date Do-eun, she is upset since Huk wants to go right away. When he attempts to make amends, he inadvertently refers to Do-eun as Pretty Bo Young, which enrages her and accuses him of cheating and rejecting their aborted child. Huk drives off, returns to Seoul, and chooses to live there again. Do-eun mails back the ring he gave her. He finally gives in to his affection for Bo Young and decides to kiss her, which eventually leads to their romance. Bo Young and Huk began to spend more time together. But Huk found it difficult to forget Do-eun, so he still recalls her whenever he sees a nurse. He also receives a reminder about the Christmas and Jeju vacation they were meant to go on, and texts Do-eun that she is free to invite someone else to accompany her. Another project that Bo Young and Huk collaborated on was a success, but they never received credit for it, as if their team relied on them to complete their tasks but refused to provide them with permanent roles. During their year-end party, Huk informs Bo Young that he may be able to return to Incheon to his previous permanent post, but Bo Young intends to travel abroad. When he reads a post stating that Do-eun is at the airport, he takes advantage of the opportunity to pursue her and locates the ring he gave her. At the airport, he notices Do-eun waiting for him. He gestures back at her, and as he races toward her, he runs into someone who looks to be Jang Huk, whom we met in the initial part of the film, implying that they are merely two different individuals with the same name. She only spent 3 months with the chubby Jang Huk, compared to 1 year and 7 months with the slim Jang Huk. The events in the first half of the film occurred at the same time as Do-eun was battling with her relationship with the slim Jang Huk. Do-eun assists chubby Jang Huk, and they both enter the airport happily. Upset and embarrassed, he returns to the party and meets Bo Young, who informs him that she has won a trip to Jeju for two. Huk was still unsure where the flaw in his relationship with Do-eun lay. Knowing that she has already moved on from him, he gives Bo Young the ring, assuring her that he loves her, but she declines since she is not ready for a serious relationship. Do-eun finally gets the love she deserves from the chubby Jang Huk, whilst the slim Jang Huk has no one. That's it for today's recap. Give this video a like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.